Well, 2020 has been a tough year for many of us, but for Nova Scotians, it's been especially hard. The province is not only in the middle of a pandemic, as Ross Lord explains, it's struggling to come to terms with the year's other heartbreaking tragedies on land and at sea.
The natural beauty of Nova Scotia is undisturbed, but the soul of this province has been darkened. The anxiety felt by all Canadians in 2020 can't compare to the blanket of grief here, an anguish that's stricken everyone.
I've cried more in the last 10 months than certainly I did in the first 7 years of my job, but really probably ever.
Mourning dozens of deaths from COVID-19 and a string of other tragedies.
RCMP are requesting more ambulances, probably one more coming and then at least one more standby.
Only a few weeks into the pandemic came April's hideous massacre. A denturist, dressed up like a Mountie, killed 13 people in the tiny village of Portapique. He killed 9 more people in other communities the next day before being shot dead by police. This grief counselor says devastation from the slaughter is unshakable.
It's changed. I feel it when I'm out on my walks. There's a beauty and a sadness all intertwined now.
Before the end of April, tragedy struck again. A Navy helicopter based in Halifax crashed off the coast of Greece. All 6 people on board were killed in the prime of their lives, including Navy Sub-Lieutenant Abigail Cobra.
Then there's the more personal items, walking her down the aisle when she decides to get married, first child, those types of things that just won't ever happen.
Less than 3 weeks after the helicopter went down, a Canadian Forces Snowbirds jet crashed after takeoff in Kamloops, BC. The crash killed Captain Jen Casey, a Nova Scotia native working as a public affairs officer.
2020 is a year I'd like to forget, and we're not even halfway there yet.
In September, more distress, this time in the Nova Scotia lobster fishery. Indigenous fishers, exercising their treaty rights, were confronted by commercial harvesters.
If that were true, then why are you not on our side? Why are you not helping us?
Commercial fishers sabotaged fishing lines. A lobster pound that did business with Indigenous harvesters was burnt to the ground in a dispute that intensified for weeks and is still unresolved. Yet another painful episode that made 2020 the most trying year in recent memory.
I've never seen anything like it, and I cried too. I don't know anybody who didn't cry.
But sorrow can also inspire. Dimitri Neonakis used his piloting skills to provide consolation. By recording intricate flight paths on GPS, Neonakis created sky drawings, like a heart for Portapique. Flying hundreds of kilometers for each artistic tribute, he spelled out Jen Casey's name. And he traced an anchor in the sky for yet another heartbreaking disaster, December's sinking of a scallop dragger near Digby, which claimed the lives of 6 men. Risking his own safety in poor flying conditions, Neonakis helped raise $60,000 for the men's families.
Those messages from people who lost their parents or lost their brother or sister, messages, they mean a lot to me, those messages. Those are the ones that they hit home.
Another positive is the overall success of Nova Scotia and the Atlantic region in limiting the spread of COVID-19. Grief counselors say moral victories don't erase the impact of unimaginable tragedy.
It's absolutely devastating.
They say time and space are critically important as efforts to heal continue into the new year. Ross Lord, Global News, Halifax.